Hey, what is up guys? It is Silver Sun here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my review on the Dragon Ball Super episode 125. Alright, so this episode kicks off with Goku and Vegeta still hammering in at Jiren, and pretty much Goku grabs him and he has hold of him. Meanwhile, Vegeta is charging up a final flash and he launches it directly at the two of them, but Jiren pretty much just stares at it and it like bounces off of him and goes back towards Vegeta, and he pretty much knocks Goku away as well. And pretty much they're giving it their all at this point, but it's still barely doing anything to Jiren. He's barely breaking a sweat. And so pretty much while this is going on, uh, Gohan and Beerus are pretty much talking, and Beerus is pretty much just giving Gohan respect for what he did, last episode of effectively eliminating Dispo. And pretty much Goku's watching this as well, proud of his son, which I thought was a nice little touch. And Vegeta's pretty much just saying like he can still keep going and stuff like that, and so can Goku. And they pretty much charge at Jiren one last time before cutting off to Toppo and 17. And pretty much what 17's got planned is he's trying to run out the clock. There's like 6 minutes left in the tournament, so he's pretty much using that to his advantage and pretty much running away from Toppo, like blasting him back away from him and stuff like that. But as he's blasting Toppo, who's blocking all his ki blasts, pretty much he moves out the way and he pretty much starts running around 17 until pretty much they get into this big beam struggle, and pretty much it is a real struggle, at least for 17. Pretty much Toppo. Oh, that'd be crazy if he was fighting Jiren, but no, Toppo's pretty much giving it his all at this point, and pretty much 17's still not backing down, but it seems like he's about to go down because he's getting blasted almost off the edge of the tournament, trying to outlast Toppo. And when it seemed like he was just about to, be over and done with 17, Frieza came up and he pretty much blasted Toppo in the back, and that pretty much caught him off guard. And so he looks behind him, and Frieza's pretty much standing there in his golden form, and he pretty much drops down and starts blasting Jiren in the back with a whole bunch of death beams, while 17's pretty much trying to push the blast back. And so basically, they're getting at him from the front and the back, and basically, um, Frieza's just going in, just launching a whole bunch of death beams. 17's blasting the blast back at Toppo, and pretty much he's about to get sandwiched in between Frieza's blast. He's about to launch one final blast at him, and 17's pretty much launched the blast already back at Toppo, so pretty much he just got obliterated at that point. The blast pretty much just went throughout the whole arena, and then pretty much Toppo was just laying down, just messed up, his outfit all torn to shreds. And pretty much Frieza comes in and he's pretty much just saying like, oh, so much for, the warrior of justice and stuff like that. You're trash now, and trash belongs in the trash bin. So pretty much he was about to eliminate Toppo right then and there, but before he could, Toppo pretty much stood up because he wasn't done yet, and pretty much he started to power up, so much so like he stood up and he was just standing over Frieza like really menacingly, but Frieza didn't care at all, and pretty much he started to power up, so much so that he got this like purple aura, and he got like this symbol on his stomach, and pretty much it symbolized like him basically being at least close to a god destruction's power. And pretty much he powered up into that form, and he pretty much from there was just like standing there, all angry and stuff like that. But Frieza didn't care at all. At first, he was just like, "Oh, it's no big deal," He just looks angry. I don't think he powered up too much from that. And so pretty much 17 comes in, and they're pretty much standing on, pretty much waiting to see what Toppo can do in this new powered up God of Destruction like state. And from here, things take a turn for the worst, as pretty much Toppo has this newfound God Destruction energy, and from there he pretty much proceeds to power up so much so that the ground start like the whole arena just starts breaking apart into little bits and chunks and stuff like that. The arena is basically destroyed aside from like a few pillars. I mean, obviously the countdown timer thing is still there, but pretty much everything's just destroyed. Goku and Vegeta and Jiren are just watching as they're floating along on rubble essentially, even the background changed to like this galaxy like background with like purple and blue and stuff like that. And so pretty much Toppo just goes in and he pretty much shoots off a Hakai blast at Frieza, and Frieza's just like, oh, it's no big deal, I'll just block it like I did before. But it was a big deal because Frieza pretty much had to put in more and more effort, but no matter how much he tried, the Hakai energy pretty much just swallowed him up, and he was pretty much like done at that point. And so pretty much that just left 17, who was pretty much trying to fend for himself at that point, trying to outlast Toppo, because from from this point on, they couldn't do anything because he had that God Destruction aura around him, and when he has that around him, like no blasts or physical attacks could really damage him. They would just like phase right through him, and 17 was just trying all he could, blasting the guy from different angles, but it just wasn't doing anything. It was just phasing right past him, and pretty much 17 was just trying to run away from him, trying to figure out a weakness, some sort of way of defeating this guy, but he couldn't figure it out in time. But pretty much as he was, battling Toppo, Frieza came back in his base form, and he was just really exhausted. Like, I mean, it's great that he survived the blast, but still, he was badly wounded. But he still, tried his hardest, and he pretty much formulated this big blast to launch at Toppo to try to get back at him, to try to destroy him. But all that happened was Toppo pretty much just flicked this tiny little ball of Hakai energy, and it pretty much just destroyed the blast entirely. And from there, he was really quick with it too. He just flew in and bashed Frieza right into the ground, punched him so hard in the stomach that he was coughing up spit. Unfortunately, it wasn't blood or anything like that. That would have been crazy if that had happened, but it is what it is with Dragon Ball Super at this point, and that kind of aspect of it. But he just went in on both of these guys. He more so Frieza really, but pretty much he was just bashing Frieza into the ground, and Frieza was barely able to stand as Toppo pretty much kicked him almost out of the arena until 17 came in, saying that his hand slipped, throwing a rock at Frieza. And pretty much effectively saving him from being eliminated. His arm was hanging off of the arena. He's like an inch away from like being eliminated. So hopefully he can get away from the edge before he does get eliminated. But that was a nice save by 17. And so pretty much from there. Oh, before I forget, I like all the callbacks and stuff like that they kind of had in this episode, like, with his hand slipping and stuff like that, what Frieza usually says, with Goku and stuff like that, or when he's attacking somebody. I kind of like that and stuff. And when Toppo said like, oh, trash belongs in the trash bin, like you said earlier and stuff like that, I don't know, I just thought those were nice little touches there. But pretty much 17 was still like holding his own. He was still giving it all he had. Pretty much he took on Toppo in the last bit, and he pretty much launched a blast to him, didn't do anything, as we obviously should come to expect by now. So pretty much he powered up this bigger blast to launch at him, and while he was doing that, Toppo pretty much launched a Hakai Ball, another one at 17, and right before it hit, the episode ended, leaving us on that cliffhanger between 17 and Toppo. And man, this episode, like, I gotta give them props. Like, this was a great episode. Like, stuff is really coming down to the wire, and they're showing that right here in this episode. I feel like from now on, it's just gonna be high stakes, and just like every episode, like everything is gonna count at this point. I mean, Universe 7 definitely still has the lead in numbers, but in terms of power, you like it's no question about it. Toppo and Jiren are probably just gonna destroy these guys. Like, the only saving grace I could see happening here is I I don't know. Maybe if Goku and Vegeta fuse as like Ultra Instinct, Super Saiyan Blue 2, or Super Saiyan Blue Ascended, whatever Vegeta's new form is gonna be called. Unless they fuse like that, I can't see them defeating these guys, because Jiren has yet to go full power, and when Toppo goes full power, as you can see, he's just destroying everything. Like, you can't hurt him because he has that aura around him. So I'm like sitting my head. I mean, sitting my head. I'm sitting down, scratching my head, wondering like, how are they gonna like defeat these two? Frieza's pretty much down and out. 17's still holding it in, but it's still not like proving to be very effective. Goku and Vegeta can't scratch Jiren. Like, it's not looking good for Universe 7 at this point. Universe 11's pretty much got this in the bag supposedly, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how all this like wraps up, and I can't wait to see how it does wrap up, cause it could go either way technically, but if I had to, make my prediction right now, I'd say Universe 11 has this sealed pretty much. I mean, Topo's just going on a rampage with his Akai energy. Jiren's just sitting around in the background making light work of Goku and Vegeta, who are arguably the strongest people in the universe so far. I mean, Goku still has yet to go Ultra Instinct, but honestly, what is Ultra Instinct gonna do to God Destruction Topo? Like, I could maybe see if like Topo were to run out of that energy, then maybe like if he got exhausted, similar to how like Goku goes Ultra Instinct, he does work and then he gets tired. If something like that happens, that's the only way I could see them defeating Topo. But from this episode, just watching it, I don't think he's gonna have that sort of weakness. And if that proves to be true, then I honestly feel like Universe 7 is gonna be eliminated sometime by the end of all this. But yeah, this episode was great. Like, fantastic. Not like it, it's up there. It's definitely up there between like the Goku versus Jiren or Vegeta versus Jiren. Now it's like 17 and Frieza versus Topo. Like that's a pretty big shift, kind of. But yeah, this episode was great in my opinion. But I want to know what you guys think. How do you think this is all gonna wrap up? Who do you think's gonna win this tournament? And how do you think they're gonna defeat whoever they're gonna defeat, whether that be Universe 11 defeats Universe 7 or Universe 7 defeats 11. Comment down below. Tell me your guys' thoughts, predictions, theories on how you think this is going to play out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this review, guys. And until the next one, Silver Sun is out.